Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live on Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com with the most irresponsible name in the game. Yours truly. Good morning, Emil.
What's up? How's it going this morning?
You know how it's going. Good morning, Tucson. Yes, you don't need to check your clock. We are starting the show a little bit late this morning through some extra songs just to get you amped up for what's going to be a fantastic show. I guarantee that. We're going to hook you up with tickets for the Gem Show. We're going to hook you up with another $50 gift certificate to Adult Expectations. We're getting ready for our live broadcast on Friday for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And Emil, I mean, you're a married man.
I am.
Yeah, and you know, you got a new kid and all that.
Yeah.
Are you planning on doing something fancy for your baby mama?
Well, yesterday I ended up painting her a picture. I shouldn't be saying that. Hopefully she's not listening right now. And
She don't listen to me.
Yeah, she don't.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably just go out to dinner or something. Maybe go mini golfing or something.
That's pretty sweet, though.
Yeah.
You literally did something creative and put in effort
Right.
to show your love.
I just cussed the entire time.
Yeah.
Effing watercolors, man.
Was it a paint by numbers deal? Or?
No. I went to school for painting, so I'm beyond that.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, you know, they took the numbers out, but the patterns are still there.
Okay. Now, so let's say ideally, and then hopefully she's not listening, but ideally, where would you want her to hang that painting up? How big is it, first off?
It's like maybe like 12 by 8. It's nothing super big. To be
Okay.
honest. It's like a smaller.
Okay, and I won't, you can tell me off air what it is, but where would you want her to hang it? Like, if she's like, this is great, this goes on like the refrigerator, you're gonna be offended, right? Like, it's
a refrigerator in our house is like a nice place because it has like all the great pictures and like my daughter's like pictures that she draws and stuff.
Yes,
so that's like the Louvre of our house, I would say.
That's where a lot of homemade art goes, but usually from the children. It's like, oh, this is beautiful. This is crayon portrait of the family. That's great. That going right on the fridge. But if your wife did that to you, would you like that? You're like, oh,
I'd be all right.
It's gonna
with that.
go on the fridge.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh, I feel very special. The induction ceremony. When is it?
That's you made it.
Yeah, and then if anybody thinks it looks like garbage, I'll be like, oh yeah, the baby did.
That is a good cover.
Yeah, it's a good outfit.
Okay, I like that. All right, well, that's good. So, obviously people tend to try to get romantic on the Valentine's Day, and that's why we're trying to hook people up with the $50 gift card to Adult Expectations and have a grand prize of $250, which you can get tons of fun, toys and accessories and lingerie and whatnot with that amount of money. And Friday, we're going to be broadcasting live from 11 to 1 and giving away tons of stuff there while playing games.
Fun.
And possibly eating. Yeah, I'm stoked for this Valentine's Day.
Yeah, good, man.
Yeah. I'm like, great. Thanks for thinking of us, guys. Yeah,
right.
Let's party. I like sexy time. So we're going to be opening up the phone lines a little bit later, asking for your Valentine's Day fails. Yeah, we did that yesterday, and it did not disappoint. In fact, we had lots of fails that was in there. The winner yesterday was a woman named Tiffany who had one of those bee plugs.
Okay, yeah.
And she was getting intimate with her man, and during the action, it disappeared.
Oh, no.
Yes, exactly.
It just went into the black hole, huh?
Yes. And then she had to retrieve it herself, and that was, an ordeal, to say the least.
How do you do that? Like tongs or something?
Well, see, that's, you know what? Tongs was one of the suggestions, or I think Rico or Valdez kind of threw out there, and tongs weren't used, it's good to say. And she is fine, and that's good, but she'll never do that again.
Yeah.
But she did win, and that was the fail of all fails, but we had tons. And, I actually posted a bunch of those calls, if you missed them, on the Rock 102.1 Instagram page, if you want to check that out, because it's worth it. But since we are starting late, we got our show open, and we already missed Morning Moron, so let's do that right now, shall we?
Let's get into it.
Yeah. Are you a hunter at all, Emil? You grew up in Bisbee. Do you ever hunt?
I like shooting. I have an issue with killing animals sometimes.
That's fair. That's fair. But what I think You know what blinds are?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of cool. Like when you go out hunting, you create like a camouflage area and to where the deer or your, game can't see you whatsoever.
Right.
Other hunters can't see you either.
No.
Yeah, it's a little sketch. But, in Texas, hunting obviously is big business. And one man made a homemade blind out of a crapper that the game and board did not really appreciate. It was a porta potty that he made into a blind.
Interesting.
Yes, and the thing is, if you were walking through the forest, it wouldn't trick you as a human being. You would just think you're in some post-apocalyptic like construction site because it's that bad. In fact, actually, I'll show you a picture. Look at that blind. So he took.
It's all spray painted.
It's spray painted. So like it's basically colored like a toddler colored it with spray paint, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's his blind. So this man allegedly would sit in this porta potty for hours on end, just waiting for deer to come by.
Yeah.
And it's actually kind of ingenious at the same time because if you have to go to the bathroom, you're already there.
Just poop and wait, man.
Yeah, but apparently there's an issue with using porta potties as a blind, and officials found it about a year ago, and they set up cameras to hunt him. And they caught him when he came back in November on the first day of deer season. And they just shared the photo this week. They charged him after he admitted to hunting without permission.
Oh,
so this was basically
that's a big one.
Street hunting.
Yeah, street hunting, right?
Yeah.
We're going to start seeing this on Speedway in the next couple of years.
Yeah, oh, my God. You kidding me? This looks like a studio apartment on Speedway. Now, they also had to remove the porta potty. They said it wasn't functioning at all, but there probably was like a little pile in the corner.
You're
You
right.
designate a corner, you use it. The man is actually from Seattle, and he's facing misdemeanor charges and assault. So he flies down to Texas, stole a porta potty, set it up in the woods, and then spray painted all janky. And then would visit it once or twice a year.
Yeah. How was your hunting trip, Bob?
Yeah. So with that said, we got to say that this dude is a morning moron, right?
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, so he's fined, and now there are no porta potties in the woods there where the deers lay. Now you just got to dig a hole like nature intended.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Mm-hmm. Look at this thing, man.
I mean,
It's
you're
so ugly.
You're an art major and stuff. Where did he go wrong with his layering?
I would just say, like everywhere, using spray paint and those colors. What are you doing, man? At least try to cover the rest of the porta pot. I'm sure deer just look at it and be like, "What's this guy? Who's this guy fooling?" Huh?
Yeah, exactly. I wonder how many kills he got in this
zero.
entire time sitting in that sweat box. I mean, I'm sure in the winter it's okay, but like very little ventilation. It looks like a porta john from the 1980s. Nothing about it looks appealing. And if I was a deer, I would kick it over. I mean, like, I know exactly what you're doing
I know.
here.
Just lock it and kick it over into the door.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get this party started here. In fact, actually, let me see what kind of extra giveaways I have as blah, 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 blah. Let's get on this podcast broadcast. Now, first and foremost, Mari, I told you I wasn't lying. I told you we'd have Ryan from Night Cart Confessions on someday eventually. Let's get him on the stream here. What's up, Ryan? Good to see you. Oh, do me a favor. Turn your phone sideways so we can get you full screen there. Yeah. Watch. It'll do it automatically. Watch. Yeah, watch. Should.
Now you're just sideways.
Yeah, all right, never mind. Turn it back the other way. That's fine. You look great, dude.
Yeah.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us early in the morning. I know. There you go.
Right.
Yeah, there we go.
Lit.
Yes. All right. So you're on our live podcast broadcast. So we're broadcasting out of Tucson, Arizona, as I was telling you. We're going to get on the radio here to tease it up here in about 2 minutes after we finish playing this song from the Funeral Portrait. And the reason why I reached out to you is because I'm a massive fan of what you're doing. And I also know that the lifestyle that you're been tapped into in that old town Scottsdale lifestyle is one I'm familiar with as well, as I'm from, up north in Phoenix and stuff. So I've seen it. I know those people well. They're lunatics. And it's such a beautiful concept that was right there. It was right there for so long, and I'm just like, absolutely, someone finally figured it out, and now, you're creating this content, which is a mix of Taxi Cab Confessions with Old Town Scottsdale, and you have nothing but a feeder system of rich, good-looking lunatics to you almost every single night.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
How long have you been driving the night cart?
So, I was actually the first 20 golf carts to ever drive in Old Town. if we're talking like 20 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. So I was literally first 20 out there. YouTube was only like 2 years old when I
Yeah.
first started driving. So no one obviously knew what YouTube was going to be. I didn't know anything about filming. I didn't know anything about just anything that had to do with the camera. Um, Obviously, I then did it for 7 years back then, and then I stopped, and I did something new with my life. And when I got back out there last year, I was like, dude, why is nobody filming on this thing?
Right.
I grew up watching Taxi Cab Confessions. I watched that
Yeah,
we're on
yeah.
the
No,
radio.
you're good. We're not on the air yet, but yeah, you'll have to watch it here in a second.
But I grew up watching that every time my parents would go to sleep, because like you get in trouble if you can't go watching that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just grabbed my phone and my friend was just like, dude, you gotta film that. I think people would
Yeah,
really
let's get on.
enjoy it.
I'm going to get
So
on Reset the Table. Check this out. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. We're live on the podcast broadcast. Joining us via satellite from Scottsdale, Arizona, we got Ryan from Night Cart Confessions. This is a new Instagram page, been active and live for a little over 6 months. Ryan is a golf cart driver in Old Town Scottsdale, which essentially is like an Uber or taxi cab driver that people take to bar hop. He's been documenting his customers and his adventures on that Instagram and TikTok page, and it's wildly entertaining. So we're going to be catching up with all the stories and sharing some of our favorite clips with Ryan on the podcast broadcast. You can join us, youtube.com/beefvegan, or stick around because we got more with Ryan. You can say good morning to Tucson real quick. Shout him
what's
out.
up, Tucson? How are you guys doing?
Yeah, so he is officially on. I know I've said this before, but he is literally on with us right now. So you can join us on the stream or stick around because we'll be talking with Ryan right after music from Sleep Theory. Here's Stuck in My Head on Rock 102.1. Clear. Okay, so
Wow,
when
that's
you
awesome.
started working 20 years ago, what kind of dough were you making driving those golf carts? Because that's kind of a lucrative gig, right?
So 20 years ago, it was just tips. It
Yeah.
was literally, dude, if you made, there'd be rides where you made like $2. And it was just like, okay, this was before Uber, before
Right.
Lyft. I mean, we're talking probably 15, 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
God, it's so crazy to think about. But back then it was just tips. But when you were only one of 20, I mean, dude, there were nights where you were making like $500 in a night. And it was
Yeah.
just like, this is this is a job. Um,
Yeah,
but
because
now
you're
it's
just BSing with people, making friends, dropping hot chicks off at bars, getting hit on, I'm sure, from time to time, which is,
oh my God, it was way different, man. The way that girls would hit on me back then was like nothing. Nowadays
yeah.
it's like, you have a camera, hold on a second, this is going on the internet. So it's a whole different game. I'm always like, damn, did I get uglier? So
Or they just know that there's like a paper trail of their hoedom,
yeah.
so to speak, right? Like, oh, you're going to flip this as real. Like, check out this Scottsdale 10 I just nabbed. Let's look at some of the page. Speaking of like falling in love, check out these girls, Mari. I feel like this is my friend Mari, by the way, Ryan.
Hi.
All right. I feel like you'd be friends with these girls.
Oh, really?
Yes. And here's one that I Instagram crushed on. All right.
And
The wine.
Let me drop them off, I'll come back, okay?
what?
All right, we can't have
I think Wine Girl, we definitely do specialize in doing bachelorette parties.
okay.
We give a glass of champagne, a cookie, and a necklace to any bachelorette party who walks
It's
in.
very aesthetic for the girls, and that's why part of why I joined was seeing the vibe of it and being like, I want to be a part of that. A sisterhood. It's almost like a sorority.
I'm like, listen, beer boys across the street, right?
Get over there.
I'm like, listen, Wine Girl's for me and my girls. You want some beer? Go across the street. Beer boys and cheeseburgers.
It's cheese.
But Wine Girl is the place to be, and I don't know.
All right, so you got like fun, like drunk party girls happening. I'm reading one of the comments like, I need them in Dubai, but like, you need to stay away, Dubai. We hear how you treat women in Dubai. You know. But yeah, so you meet cute, fun people like that, and that was probably one of the safest clips that I could pick on the page because
Yeah.
some people you got a lot of. How many times a night does somebody ask you if you know where to get cocaine, on average?
You know what? It comes from a certain. It
You
comes
know
from
exactly.
certain people. I gotta call them out, but the Canadians,
The Canadians.
it is unreal. The amount of Canadians, the second they get in the golf cart, they're like, Ryan, dude, brother, listen, where can I get it? And I'm like, yo, I already know where you're from. I already know.
Hey, buddy, where
So
can I get the cocaine?
I would say this for Waste Management Weekend,
Yes,
because
which we just had.
everyone and their mother and father was in town for that. It probably happened more than I've ever encountered. Uh, yeah, I would say it happened maybe like 30 times last week.
Yeah, so
So
well, we call it Wasted Management Open for sure. So over 100,000 people a day. There's actually a clip that we're showing from Night Cart Confessions on Instagram or TikTok. You're just seeing a guy just passed out on the outside of the tournament, right?
no, that's in Old Town. That is literally Gus's Pizza. If you've ever been down there, dude, he
Yeah.
is right behind Maya. Honestly,
Yeah, and
just
he was just out. Yeah,
11 o'clock. Yeah, 11 o'clock at night, just passed out on the road.
Yeah, so
I
Ryan,
I did be
go ahead.
honest. I did call the cops. I called like the non-emergency line to have them like check on him.
Yeah.
When I see stuff like that, like yeah, I might film it, but like I
You got to
do
be a good
call
Samaritan. You're
sometimes.
the sober one. You're the responsible one on the street.
Yeah, some people
Yeah.
just. I mean, a lot of people they pass by and whatnot. I don't. I kind of feel bad that I recorded that, but like he was okay. He was
Yeah,
okay.
no, and then you look, dude. This should be, if anything, maybe it'll be a wake up call for him to get his ish together. Nobody should be passed out outside of a pizza joint in the middle of the night.
At
In
11?
Old
Yeah.
Town. Yeah, at 11. Like but that's Waste Management Open for you, and that's just like I mean, you could go through and just search Management Open on like Twitter, and you'll see tons of videos of people just passed out or
Reckless.
falling on their face, reckless. You saw that 19-year-old kid cancel himself for outing himself being a racist Nazi, entitled kid, like all that stuff. So,
Wow.
Ryan, he's a night car driver in Old Town Scottsdale. Has been documenting it on the Instagram page. And what's your shift normally like? Like, what time do you start? What time do you end?
Well, this is where I know that we have not aligned. Obviously, I know
Yeah.
you've tried to get me on this show, and I just keep dropping the bomb. Dude, I work from 7 p.m. to 3 in the morning,
Yeah.
Wednesday through Sunday. Sometimes the nights are even longer. Because there's some places that stay after hours till 6 in the morning, and sometimes a group likes my vibe and wants me to hang out with them, so I go hang out with them,
Right.
in
So you're
hopes that I
partying until
have
the
them
sun
again
comes up.
like the next day. So
Right. Yeah, that's crazy. And well, it's a dangerous gig as well. Now, we started off this conversation on the air. We was talking about Canadians and cocaine, which is funny because I asked him how many times people ask him for cocaine because it is Old Town Scottsdale, mind you. And it snows there 24/7. Now, it's so great to me, though, because to you, right, it's Canadians from the north that are asking it. You know, Mexicans in Rocky Point think about, like, United States citizens the same way. It's the
Dude,
same thing. It's just one country moving south being like, where's the cocaine? So,
Yeah.
like, Mexicans probably go down to Panama, and these Panama people are like, these damn Mexicans asking for cocaine, and so on and so forth, till you get to Antarctica. That's a theory.
yeah, but I gotta just stick it to the Canadians, man. They're the only ones that ask for that.
Yeah.
I think the locals just know where to go, so they didn't bother to ask. Not that I
Exactly.
can, not that I can help anyone because I just don't partake in that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm always like, yo, guys, I can get you anything you want, but not that.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that they want. So I don't know. Not
yeah.
me.
Now, when you started this page, what was the first clip that went viral where you're like, all right, here it is? Because I noticed the transition in your golf cart going from like a dark roof to like a well lit, pimped out, like perfect like studio set for these clips.
That has been that's been a lot of effort. Obviously when I started out, I just had a cell phone. Saved up enough money to get. I was filming on a instant 360. Learned very quickly that that is not the correct thing to film on. They don't do well in low light setting.
Right.
So I was in one golf cart, and then honestly, I got in a accident in October. A
I
Lyft
saw that.
driver.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry to hear about that. I thought that was in December, but basically a car ran a stop sign and hit you. It's a very dangerous gig as well. How long were you
Yeah.
in the hospital for?
I was in the hospital for a day, man. I thought I was Superman. I was like, get me the hell out of here. Like, I felt fine. I mean, obviously that my adrenaline was through the roof.
Right.
I felt fine, but honestly, when I got out of the hospital, I was like, okay, your spine is messed up. So
Oh.
I'm still today dealing with spine stuff. I go to the chiropractor 3 days a week. I did some PRP shots recently, two of those. It's like stem cell
Mhm.
stuff to make my spine stronger.
Yeah.
Painful shots. I don't recommend any of that. But yeah, since that accident, I had to get on a different golf cart which had a brighter roof.
Oh.
Um,
Okay. So
so
you were just fortunate. You kind of lucked in to having a better roof and a better set for your
yeah,
videos after
yeah.
that.
I just I had a different person I rent from, and they were just like, "Hey, do you need anything?" And I was like, "I just need this roof to be more lit, because the
Yeah.
channel's getting better. I mean, today we just hit 60,000 on Instagram, which is freaking awesome."
Yeah,
Wow.
So
congratulations, dude. Well, I mean, this is one of these hipster moments I like reaching out to guys that I see that are doing good work and be like, hey, like this is going to blow up. It continues to blow up. Let me talk to you before you hit a couple mil. So you'd be like, I remember my buddy B from way back when, he recognized it was happening. Uh,
you know what?
because you have,
I'll say this though, man. Like, and just to answer your question, a video that I remember that blew up was two dudes admitting to cheating on each other, uh, when they're married with wives, and I had to
oh
blur their
no.
face. Yeah, I had asked them. I said, "What's the craziest thing y'all ever done as boys?" And they were like, "We're married, dude. Like, don't judge us." I said, "Okay." And they're like, "You can only have this if you blur our face." And I was like, "Okay.
Fair.
I want the audio. I don't care. I'll blur you." And they admitted to cheating on their wives with each other on a boys' trip.
Wow. Yes.
And
Whoa.
They go broke back.
yeah, they went Brokeback Netherland is what happened, or
Oh wow, it was a
Switzerland,
boys'
wherever
trip
they
to
went.
Switzerland. Yeah,
They
that's
told their wives they were going on a boys' trip, and then they came back, Brokeback. So
wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
And just a one-time thing? Like they're out together, right?
I
Like
don't
so
know.
maybe it's like
Yeah.
a reoccurring
You know
thing?
what? Batman couldn't get that information out of me, so the fact that they just spilt that like it was nothing
right.
was a little crazy.
Yeah, you could probably fill in the
Wow.
blanks from there, but that's the beauty of kind of like I'm sure now Uber drivers, the experience this, taxi drivers have known this all along, but something about like sitting and someone giving you a ride, you tend to have them as your temporary therapist, and you just let out, right?
Yeah, I mean
And
it's
then
like 5 minute conversations. When people ask me like, "What's your favorite thing about the job?" Honestly, I love the 5 minute hangouts that I get to have.
yeah,
Um, you
you
know,
meet a lot of
I
people.
Yeah, I mean, not to talk too much about what I used to do for work, but I've been on the red carpets. I've been in the, tabloids of stuff, and I was had a lot of people always wanting to talk to me. I lived that life of like celebrity status, and then
Mhm.
when I got out of that and came into this, someone said to me the other day, they're like, "Dude, you act very chill. You don't like freak out that you're like everybody knows you." And it's like, dude, I just want everyone to know that I'm fun to be around, and that I
Yeah.
want to be around you, and I appreciate you coming up to me and saying hi. And like, dude, I took a picture. I signed some dude's napkin over the weekend, and I'm like, what? Like, okay.
That's funny. Yes.
But I don't know. I think it's amazing. It's amazing what's happening. So
Yeah, well, like I said, you're on to something. You got the perfect feeder system in just the nightlife of Scottsdale. and then you're going out there and doing the work. It's a one-man show with Ryan putting together, filming everything, then cultivating the clips, and throwing it out there on social media, where you can follow at Nightcart Confessions on Instagram, at TikTok, all the social media platforms. We're gonna wrap things up on the podcast broadcast with Ryan because I know he's got a place to go. But I appreciate you checking in with us, Ryan, and I hope to talk to you again soon because I know that you're just accumulating so many behind-the-scenes stories that I know are fascinating. So we got a couple more minutes with Ryan before we let him go on youtube.com/BeFegan. We'll be back after music from Breaking Ben and Sublime on Rock 102.1 KFMA.
You do this every day?
Yeah, Monday through Friday.
Wow.
Yeah. And then so we just started doing 2. It's 3 shows in one, right? So we'll do an Instagram live show for like an hour earlier in the morning. We do our podcast broadcast here, and both of those are kind of going in and out of the radio show. And then the radio show itself it's a show that we're popping in and out with, like, radio segments, callers, all that. And so that's what we've been doing and trying to clip up and stuff. And, it's all part of the grind. So, it's relatable for sure. But you're getting paid. Well, like you and I, we're both getting paid while creating content, which is good. But, I mean, yeah.
Not
you're
really.
Getting paid, you're getting paid by picking up passengers and dropping them off. I mean, I know, like, eventually now, like next week, we're going to have Sean Gatz on. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's a massive, like, influencer. He lives in Tucson. His face all tattooed, has several million followers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
the dude building his house?
Yes, down here in Tucson.
Dude,
and he has.
I watch that guy all the time.
Exactly, right? So he's going to be in studio because he's also doing a food truck now. But he broke down a video of how much he makes per platform, and Instagram and Facebook pay the least by far, right? It's YouTube Shorts and YouTube and TikTok that pay the most. So much so that the dude just literally spent $110,000 on taxes this week, right?
All right, TikTok says that my content is not even original.
Really? Why?
But I also have a very hard time with TikTok because we're talking about tobacco and alcohol
right
all the time. And TikTok, for I don't know what reason, is just so against that.
Yes.
When there's people on there that are cussing and doing all types of shenanigans. And I'm like, I mean, I can't even tell you how many times I've done an appeal with TikTok telling me that it's not original. And I'm like, yo, you could Google all day long trying to find a golf cart interview. You ain't going to find it. So I don't know what you're saying. It's not original.
Right. Yeah. Well, I deal with that stuff all the time where the clips get shadow banned where you're like, what's wrong with this clip? Or zero people are like, what I do now? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that part obviously is part of the challenge. And that's why it's good to kind of pick the brains of people who figured shit out. So if I get any heads up, I'll let you know, what percentage doing wrong. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's going to be a constant battle. YouTube, I think you'll have more freedom. And if you continue to build your fan base on, Instagram and those platforms and direct them to YouTube, I think that's where you'll end up seeing the most return when it comes to that. But, you've been doing pretty good in getting local sponsors up there, like an Old School Hat being one of them. And
Yeah. Doing something really cool with them coming up here soon. And then a buddy of mine, he's trying to get me my own golf cart. That's what I have to do after this.
Nice.
So if I can get this golf cart, it's going to be a lot bigger. And it's going to be a different way of filming that I'm going to kind of surprise everyone on.
Yeah.
And then
multicam stuff like that.
What's up?
You thinking multicam stuff like that?
More just like reality show wise.
Right.
So think of like The Office.
Yeah.
And that's the best hint I could give you.
Right. Yeah.
So
That's a lot of editing,
I
though,
love
so-
that. I love the movement. Like still shots are cool, but like when it's moving, it's way better. All right,
Yeah.
my mom is kicking me out, so I got to.
Hey, dude, we'll do this again sometime. You hit me up whenever, and let's revisit because I know there's a bunch of stories that I'm sure my audience would love to hear in the future. But best of luck to you, and get that cart. We'll be, keeping an eye on it and liking all your posts, dude. So keep up the great work.
Thank you guys so much. It was nice meeting you.
Of course, dude. So that's Ryan from Nightcart Confessions, everybody. We'll hit the reset. Earlier this morning, we did what? F My Life. In case you missed it, went like this. Check it out. that bought normal fortune cookies.
Yes.
Yes. And apparently people who received the fortunes were quite upset. And it's the type of thing where once they cracked their cookie open, they got basically a hard reality, like slapped in the face. I'll give you an example. I have a picture here of what one of these fortunes would read. And it's not necessarily like dirty, right? It says, you are capable of great things, but all you do is look at your phone all day. You won't be that great. Sorry.
Okay, that's not so bad. I thought it was going to be a little bit more X-rated or something, but this just is R-rated, so.
That's the realest fortune that I've ever heard.
Right.
And it's probably resonated with a lot of people listening out there.
I know, right?
Present company included.
Yeah, everybody's on their phone all the time, so maybe take the fortune cookies like word for it.
Yeah. Oh, there are some dirty ones, though. So, I mean, yeah, that one was tame, but here's one that was dirty. One fortune read, the year snakes bears good fortune. Your divorce is coming soon. And then it ended by saying their spouse only married you for the money, you ugly C word.
Wow. Really
you're
cuts
like,
deep.
Yeah, you're like, when's it going to get R-rated? There it is. It is.
What led him to suicide? It was that dang fortune cookie, man.
Oh, that's
that
dark.
fortune cookie.
I know, but
it's dark comedy. Nobody hurt themselves because of a fortune cookie. Don't do that.
Either way, now I'm missing out. I'll be disappointed if my fortune, my next fortune cookie doesn't roast me. Like, please,
know, right?
be mean. Oh, I love it. That was Alien Atmosphere. We're about to give away a pair of tickets for the Tucson Gem Show. So if you want to win those tickets, stick around right after headlines. There's so much news going on in the world. It's hard to, dedicate time for each individual story. So sometimes we got to give you just the headlines, and that's what this is. So first headline here, it looks like BuzzFeed is planning a new social media platform designed to spread joy.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
you need a little bit of that sometimes.
Yes, but they do say enragement is engagement. They describe it as the opposite of Twitter. So do you think people will use this, like the joy-based platform? And if they do use it, how long will it take for the trolls to infiltrate it and completely destroy it?
Day one, it's not gonna last. I mean, I'm surprised BuzzFeed was still around. You said BuzzFeed, and I was like, oh yeah, let's dust off that old relic. But I thought they had closed down years ago, but I guess not.
Yeah, they did file for bankruptcy. They were sued for tons of money with Hulk Hogan when they leaked the sex tape.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that's where I saw, the real Python that Hulk Hogan was bragging about all through the 80s. It was brutal. That's an image that you just don't get out of your head.
I know, right?
When your childhood hero, you see your childhood hero's dong, and you're like, oh, did you call that thing Andre? Because it's giant. It makes sense. I mean, Hulk Hogan was like 6'7", 300 pounds. So,
Right.
I mean, it like at least it matches, but
Yeah.
yeah, destroyed. My childhood was destroyed at that moment. All right, a restaurant worker. This is interesting, right? Because we do DoorDash, Uber Eats driver stories all the time. Sometimes you get good stories, sometimes you get bad stories. You very rarely get a story where a restaurant worker will snitch on one of these third-person party delivery drivers, but that's exactly what happened here. Because apparently there was an Uber Eats driver who was not in a rush whatsoever. And so the restaurant worker included a note inside the bag of food that read, "Hi, your driver ate lunch when your order was ready. I remade it fresh. Give him 1 star."
Nice. No, I love it, actually.
Yeah.
We need more people like that, just calling out the bad drivers and the people that might be a little dishonest.
I know, but these are all gig workers and stuff, and that driver was probably just door dashing just so he can get a free meal.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I've considered it. I'm like, my budget of what I've spent on food, I'm like, I could counteract that if I just deliver a couple meals here and there.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, but hey, man, got to give some good service, man. And if you're not gonna do the job the right way, then just don't do it at all.
Fair enough. Yeah, let all those delivery drivers out there be warned. And deliver that food when it's fresh. Eat your food later. You are technically on the clock. All right, a DUI attorney in Alabama was arrested for DUI on Sunday. I have a feeling. All right, we're back here live on the podcast broadcast. One more time, I'd like to thank Ryan from Night Cart Confessions. Make sure you guys follow them. Let them know that you heard him on the show. I'm sure that we'll have him back because we have a bunch of different stories from Ryan now. We will get with all these clips. Those clips are really fun to watch. You start checking out his page, Mari?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, it's basically just you're seeing just drunk people in Old Town Scottsdale acting a fool, confessing to, like, affairs and the whole nine. It's like reality TV at its purest, really. So yeah, that was Ryan. Welcome back to the show. Let's speaking of celebrity stuff, I found this like wildly interesting. Now you know the bromance that was Seth Rogen and James Franco.
Yes.
Yes, and then you of course you know that bromance is sadly over, right?
It is.
Yeah. Now, this was said in an interview that James Franco said, basically saying, hey, we were friends over 20 years. We've made a lot of great projects together. We made a lot of good money together. And I'm trying to be his friend, but he just won't respond, so I feel like our friendship is over. Now, Seth Rogen addressed this in a recent interview in a very non-addressing way. You saw this?
Yes.
Okay, so what's your take on this?
My take is that Seth is a no-nonsense guy. He's like, all right, I'm just going to move on.
Okay.
And James Franco wants to live in the past.
Oh, okay. Maybe you're right. Well, here's basically the quote from this interview that first off, James Franco revealed in October to Vanity that they were no longer speaking. And then his quote was, we had 20 great years together, but I guess it's over. And not for a lack of trying. Basically insinuating that he keeps trying to be Seth Rogen's friend, but Seth Rogen wants nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And Rogen has brushed off these headlines, and this was the way he said. He said, I absorbed so little media that it really wasn't on my radar. I'm like, really? Because I believe that in your friend circle, you probably got a text message or two that someone's like, hey, James said that.
You think he smokes a lot of weed, though?
So what? Yeah,
Maybe he's like a little like on a different planet sometimes.
No, people that smoke a lot of weed tend to have a lot of friends. It's a very social drug to partake in, So Snoop Dogg could have been like, yo, what's up with your boy Franco? So I'm sure that when this went viral, so to speak, this interview with James Franco, I'm sure it got back to Seth Rogen one way or another. So him saying that he absorbs so little media, to me, is kind of a snobby response and not necessarily the truth. Now, I'm sure I'm sure he's not like on Facebook and social media. That's great. But if he wants to be like, a comedian entertainer that's relevant with like the time, he needs to understand what's going on, right? Okay.
I don't know. He's got his own things though. Like I think he has like a nice little like business that he makes with his wife and like.
Yes, he's a very busy man. But it doesn't mean he doesn't get a text message from either his agent, his manager, his friends, Jonah Hill, or anyone saying, hey, what's up with this? Or good for you. Honestly, I'm sure because James Franco was canceled because of misbehavior involving women, power plays, underage women. It was all put to light. No charges were pressed against James Franco, I don't believe. Some civil lawsuits maybe, but he's not convicted of anything, but it was enough evidence to have him, Seth Rogen, distance himself from a guy that he's known literally a majority of his life. Since what was it, Undeclared or something, since since Freaks and Geeks, actually, he was on. Now, Rogen publicly supported Franco despite multiple sexual misconduct allegations that Franco denied of any wrongdoing of, but later admitted that he very much regret making a joke at Franco's expense. In his 2014 Saturday Night Live monologue, Rogen joked about catfishing Franco as an underage girl and that Franco seemed unfazed. And so he even joked about how, his buddy James Franco liked him young. Yeah, and honestly, I remember that monologue. The crowd popped. They laughed at that joke. So everyone was like, he's good looking and rich, so we'll allow it. But really, it was kind of creepy at the core of it. Now, Rogen walked it back. He told the Times that it was a terrible joke, honestly. And I also look back to that interview in 2018 where I commented I would keep working with James. And the truth is that I have not, and I do not plan to right now. So it's him saying basically in so many words that he canceled his friend.
Yeah, would you though?
It's so complicated in this scenario. I
mean, he has insider knowledge, so for him to cancel him, there must be more to it. Maybe James didn't deal with it appropriately, and
yes.
So I trust Seth. I read his book, right, and he's a solid dude.
Okay.
So if he's gonna write off James Franco, I'm like, okay, it's probably for a good reason.
So then there's a lot more that you think he knows that the public
Absolutely.
knows. Okay.
Yeah.
In that scenario, yes. If my person I consider my friend turns out to be a scumbag, then yes, I would write them
Right.
off. In fact, I have done that with multiple people in my life as you move on.
And it's sad, but sometimes you got to do it.
Yeah, they did do some good stuff together.
Oh,
I
great
mean,
stuff.
Would
So
you
it's
still
very
watch
sad.
Pineapple Express?
100%. Love it.
Okay. Would you still watch what's some other like Franco Rogen movies?
Honestly, I can't remember right now.
Okay, so Pineapple Express is the only one that we really care about. That's fair.
I know. I'm trying to
right.
think.
Another celebrity news while we're on the subject, obviously a big hustle nowadays is celebrity scams, right? Meaning
yes.
that people pretend to be celebrities to
Yeah.
scam your grandmother out of their life savings.
Yeah, that Brad Pitt one though recently was
a big
so
one.
good.
Yeah.
Like him in the hospital was such a fake looking photo.
I
And
know.
they bought it though. They ate it up.
Yes, yeah, I know. And it's unfortunate because, this really happens. The victims are usually ages 62 and up. And romance scams often target these older people with pretending to be famous people. And there's a new study that highlights the celebrities that are most often impersonated. Okay, so I have a top 3, men and women, right? Or just, it's a mixed bag. Now, we talked about the Brad Pitt one with those terrible. At that point, you kind of blame the victim for falling for it. Because those
Unfortunately, yeah.
Photoshop pictures, nothing was consistent about them. They look comical, to say the very least. If I
Yeah.
would have posted it saying, hey, this is my friend Brad Pitt, I'd get roasted by everybody that follows us. Who do you think are the top 3 celebrity impersonators?
J-Lo, based off your dad.
J-Lo's not on the list, but that's
Ah.
funny, yes.
Okay, Brad Pitt.
Okay.
Is that on there?
Brad Pitt is not in the top 3 either.
Really? Who's
Yeah.
on the top 3? That's crazy. Wow.
I'll tell you what, the first person to give me a correct answer in the top 3 will get a $20 gift certificate to Tucson Games and Gadgets, 600 KFMA, 605-362. So out of the celebrities, I will actually continue this conversation on the podcast broadcast, but call now if you think you can get one of the top 3 celebrities that are often impersonated to scam your grandparents out of their money. 600 KFMA, good luck. Yeah, so you're wrong.
I was so wrong, but
yeah,
then
a
I'm
couple
like,
times.
wait, what?
Here, let's go to the phones. Rock 1, 2.1, who's this?
It's Ted.
All right, Ted, give me the name. Give me one of the top 3, and you will get this $20 gift card to Tucson Games and Gadgets.
Hey, I'm going to make a guess at this because I got a celebrity who's a phony celebrity trying to hit me up, and that's Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, Scarlett Johansson's trying to hit you up. You should give her all your money to Banger, dude.
Apparently. Yeah, she's trying to hit me up twice. I've had 2 different Scarlett Johanssons try to hit me up.
Oh,
And
man.
I could tell because they have like 0 followers.
Yeah, of course. And then she's married, and Scarlett Johansson would just never hit you up. Unfortunately, that is not in the top 3, but that's an awesome
Really?
story, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. In fact,
Thank you.
actually, that's probably a future topic that we'll have to give up to our audience. Is there a celebrity attempting to scam you? All right, let's go to the next phone line. Rock 1, 2.1, who's this? Rock 1, 2.1, who's this?
This is Josh.
All right, Josh, give me a guess.
I got Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. If you Googled it, then you Googled it correctly because that's the number 1 answer on the
Number
board.
1?
Yes, congratulations there,
Why?
Josh. I don't know because Keanu Reeves is such a nice person.
I
He's
know.
a super nice guy.
He's
Yeah.
a very nice guy, but why would he be hitting you up to scam you? You
Well,
know,
no,
like,
it's the scammers pretending to be Keanu
asking
Reeves.
you for money though. Like he's already-
Pretending to be Keanu Reeves. And then I'm sure the grandparents are like, Keanu's such a nice boy, he would never.
Oh.
And the answer is, and the truth is, he is a nice boy, and he would never. So you're going to be scammed if you're getting hit up for money by Keanu Reeves. So let that be a
Wild.
lesson. That's the number 1 answer on the board. Number 2 is surprising as well. It's Jason Momoa. 'Cause
Random?
He's sexy as hell, right?
know,
So
but random.
thirsty old ladies are giving all their money to fake Momoas. And this one's random. A co-star of Keanu Reeves in the movie Speed,
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock.
Whoa.
Because old people love Sandra Bullock. She's wholesome.
Yeah, she's America's sweetheart.
Yeah, well, America's Sweetheart is allegedly pilfered hundreds of thousands of dollars off of, sweet elderly people. But again, not her herself, just people pretending to be her. So,
Crazy.
excellent guess, dude.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, let me get your info here so you can get this. And I'll play back the call right after these words. Okay, so everyone on the stream, Stick around. We got more coming up right after this clip out of this.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Yeah. He's like, I'm an expert. Such a, but he's like, tell me you're a bad DUI attorney without telling me you're a bad DUI attorney because you should pretty much know all the steps to get out of potential DUIs.
When you're getting pulled over, right?
Yes.
You should be like, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this.
Right,
Blah, blah, blah.
right. Like
Go
this,
away.
this DUI attorney does have TikTok because they give you those hacks all the time.
Right.
You see guys that just put a note up to the window like, no, bitch, you don't have the right to say anything to me. And it works sometimes if you're a middle-aged white guy. All right, anyways, let's move forward. A woman in Japan was arrested for squishing a sweet bun at a convenience store.
Oh, man, sacrilege.
Yes.
I love sweet buns in Japan.
Well, the people of Japan love sweet buns in Japan, so much so that it's a felony to ruin the form of a sweet bun. I didn't know that.
Right to jail.
Yeah.
Straight to jail.
Now, her defense was she was just trying to check the firmness.
Freshness,
Yeah. But they're like, no, not in Japan.
Take our word for it. It's fresh. Stop messing up our pastries.
That's how offended they are. You're like, you're going to tell me that my sweet buns aren't fresh? I'm calling the cops on you, bitch.
Yeah, you put my honor into check, bro.
Crazy. That's crazy. And you going to Japan this year, or is that just Mari?
No, it's just Mara. I'd love to. I just bug her to bring me back some freaking sweet rolls and stuff.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, but
Melon pan.
If she squishes them, I'm calling the cops on her too. And then finally, if you got dumped on Tuesday, you're not alone. Apparently, it was Red Tuesday, which is a popular day for breakups, right before Valentine's Day.
Man, what are we doing to each other as human beings, bro?
You know, a lot of times these breakups happen when you check the bank account and be like, I can't afford it this year.
Right.
So I'll just be single for a couple weeks until we hit that reset. Speaking of hitting the reset, let's do so right now. But if you want like a nice, affordable Valentine's date, you should check out the Tucson Gem Show for free. And the way that you're going to do that is be caller number 10 right now. 600 KFMA, 605-362. You'll win a pair of tickets for the Tucson Gem Show this weekend if you are that lucky number caller. All right. So with that said, let's hit the reset. We got Mari in studio coming up next. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. What were you talking to Mari about?
That's my life is an existential crisis. I'm not even joking about that, but we're talking about time.
Okay.
The heaviness of time.
Okay, so what was your theory that you just dropped to Mari about time?
Just how it seems like it just speeds along like crazy nowadays, but I've come to this understanding that you get to a certain age and you have more time behind you than you have in front of you, and that kind of makes life feel like it speeds by a little bit quicker.
Time flies, right?
Time flies when you have fun.
It's funny that you say this because while you were talking to Mari, all that hippie talk, it immediately made me recall Tom Green. Tom Green dropped this knowledge on me when he was in my house having like a midlife crisis. The first time I had him on my show. And you could tell he was just in a kind of a miserable state. He was still awesome to be around. But there was a darkness there, and he was kind of contemplating a lot of things as he accomplished a lot at that point of his life, and he wasn't doing that much as he wasn't at the peak of his career. And then he's like, time, as you get older, time goes by faster. And he's like, do you know why? And I'm like, why? Yeah, tell me, Tom Green, share your wisdom. He said, well, if you're 2 years old and, you go through an entire year, that's one half of your life.
Oh.
Once you're 10 years old and you go through an entire year, that's a 10th of your life in perspective, right? The older you get, that fraction gets bigger. Like once you're 40 years old, that's a 40th of your life. And then you just feel that time kind of crunch just based off the amount of experience and time you've had on the planet. So, yeah, once you get up to, obviously like 69, that's a 69th of your life, an entire year. And I'm not even going to try to break down the months in as far as that. And that was kind of his theory that he stuck with. And, I was like, he's like my sensei at that point. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like the same feeling that you're getting?
Yeah, that's kind of like what I was saying. I think just because you have more behind you, and with whatever you have behind you too, that's also a lot of experiences, especially if you're more lived, if maybe a little bit more like traveled and you're more understanding about like a multitude of things. You've done a lot of stuff with your life. Then you really have like not much to kind of like, I hate to say it, to look forward to because you've been there and done that.
Yeah.
And now you only have like so much time left to fill. I feel like that's kind of,
Yeah, I've been just watching Mari's face this entire time, and you're blowing her mind, dude.
Does that happen right now? Here we go. Oh, no.
All right,
makes sense.
Yes, the wheels keep turning. We'll be back with some more what would you do scenarios for both Emil and Mari. I got some absurd scenarios that you might find yourself in, so it's good to see exactly what you would do in this emergency situation. Also, we're going to be giving away a $50 gift certificate to Adult Expectations and open up those phone lines and start our Instagram Live this hour. So all those reasons and more, stick around. Right after a Buck Cherry Crazy Bits, it's Rock 102.1 KFMA. All right, yeah, there you go. So that was, is that the Mafia one? I think we did our Mafia FML news story. So I thought that was great. I need to put like Mafia sound effects on that. Real quick for all of our viewers, pleasure is Mari with her makeup on. Beautiful. We did our Instagram Live today, and Chef Gary was like, hey, put her in the middle because we had her at the bottom. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely right, because, that just makes sense. It's feng shui. To have two guys.
Guy, girl, guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And then so when we did, then I realized, I'm like, oh, we got the perfect like Brady Bunch set up. So we started looking up and down. It was good times. If you were there, you know. But I will clip it because I look forward to that. I'm having fun with that. We're going to get on the air in about 50 seconds. We got to wrap the show a little early because I have so many commercials. But, I appreciate you guys so much for riding with us every day. Make sure you follow Ryan and let him know that you follow him from the page and stuff, because I do think that will make a difference here in the future. And I honestly think that this kid is going to come across, he's like 40. He's going to come across some really good content. And it's really going to kind of showcase the best and worst parts of Old Town Scottsdale in a hilarious way. Yeah, so the next Hawk Tua is going to be coming from that cart. I promise you that. I promise you that. So, and that's a Beef Stradamus prediction. So you call me a liar if it don't come true, but
it'll come true.
It's on the internet. It's forever known. All right, here we go. 5 seconds. We'll get into a little longer of a break and then go into a beef tip, so we're not done. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. I really wanted to, and I'll do this tomorrow with Herb Stratford, do a reaction to the trailer for Friendship. It's a new movie starring Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a twisted version take of I Love You, Man. And if you know anything about Tim Robinson, he is hilarious and having a moment, but also he's an absurdist when it comes to his style of comedy. And so if his fingerprints are all over this, and Paul Rudd, of course, is always Paul Rudd.
Oh, he's hilarious.
Yes, so that together, it looks like it might be the surprise comedic blockbuster of the summer. So I'm very excited about that movie. And we'll talk about the early buzz about that movie with Herb Stratford tomorrow morning. So Herb returns to the show after a sabbatical, traveling all over the place and returning to a new day, Friday mornings from here on out, to give us a heads up of all the cool stuff that's going to be happening in, movie theaters and our streaming networks. So, okay. Now, we talked about a lot of like music festivals in the past, and everyone wants KFMA Day and Fall Ball to return, and yes, so do I. But there's another festival that I'm actually kind of intrigued about, and it's not a Coachella or anything like that. It's called the Frozen Dead Guy Days, which is set for next month in Estates Park, Colorado. So this is an annual festival in Colorado called Frozen Dead Guy Days. The festival's website explains the subject of the event, and it's based off the movie The Shining.
Oh.
Yes, it said Grandpa Brito is over 120 years old. For years, he was the resident of Tough Shed in the hills above Nenderland, Colorado, just 40 miles south of Estates Park, where he remained very, very, very cold. These days, Grandpa is still frozen in a state of suspended animation, awaiting the big thaw. And the one thing that will bring him to life will be this party. The festival includes a polar plunge at the Stanley Hotel from The Shining fame, coffin races, and wild games plus music. The festival, the Frozen Dead Guy Days, runs from March 14th to the 16th out in Colorado again. So is this an actual dead guy? I think this might actually be a...
I don't know. Sounds a little creepy.
Yeah, well, aren't you like intrigued
I know,
by
right
this?
up my alley.
Yes. You like Frozen Dead Guys, don't you?
Right.
Yeah, and the fact that they had the Stanley Hotel and, of course, polar plunging and coffin races.
I like the coffin. You had me at coffin races.
I know I did. I wish they had more pictures here. of this, but I'll show you. This is a real festival that you can find with lodging packages and everything. Oh, here's a gallery. So you think, okay, you have to think Burning Man, but in the snow, okay? So
in the snow and potentially haunted?
yes, but well, that is the hotel. This is people dressing up for the Burning Dead Guy games.
Oh, so they look like little zombies, frozen ice zombies.
Yeah, they're out there in beautiful Colorado, obviously, enjoying. They're doing polar plunges and bathing suits. Got Colorado 10s there, little belly flops.
Wow.
This looks like such a fantastic time. Just a local festival at its finest up in Colorado. So
Unique.
Yeah, super unique. Super fun looking. So, yeah, I'm all about that. So I just want to give you a heads up on that. That just came across my radar, and I'm like, we got to plan a trip to Colorado.
Yes, we do.
March 14th to the 16th.
I can carry you in a coffin.
You think you could?
Yeah, with some help from Rico, maybe.
Oh, yeah, you need more pallbearers.
I don't think I could do it by myself.
Hey, I'm on this new kind of like diet, and I'm seeing renewed medical health. So I'm on this weight loss journey, and Svetlana believes she can get 50 pounds off me. So
Nice.
come March, I might be a lot lighter, and that might
Okay.
help you
So let's
for
plan
that.
it.
We'll see. As for right now, I'm just not eating much. So. All right, let me give you a beef tip before we wrap things up today. Petting your pup before leaving home has benefits, not just for you, but for them. Researchers at the University of Pisa have found that if you pet your dog one last time before you head out the door, it'll reduce anxiety for your pup and for you. They say it takes just 5 minutes of petting to lower your cortisol, the stress hormone, and boost oxytocin, the feel-good hormone for owners. And as for dogs, their heart rate goes down and they become more relaxed, which will probably lead them to not destroying your house when you're gone. The scientists say it's a win-win for the dog and for the pet parents. So don't forget to pet your dog before you leave each and every day, even if you're just going to run to the store.
No, that's a great tip. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I need that.
That's your beef tip. For everyone else, thank you guys so much for listening. Don't forget, tomorrow is a big day. It's Valentine's Day. So we have a very special Valentine's Day show planned for you. And with that said, we are also going to be giving away our final $50 gift certificate to somebody to Adult Expectations. Then immediately after the show, we head to Adult Expectations, do a live broadcast. There we're going to do our XXX games, give out a bunch of fun prizes, and have some food. So if you're not doing anything from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., we'd love to have you be a part of our festivities as we broadcast and stream live from Adult Expectations on Stone, just north of Grant. Till then, Robin Nash is up next. Enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Later.
When
There we go.
wish upon a side of
Tomorrow
beef,
is Arizona's birthday.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I'll remember that as well. So thank you very much. Happy birthday, Arizona!
Been mean or kind of bad, I will knock out all
Babuski.
your
I think
teeth.
so.